All right, folks, this is a Oklahoma weather update live right around 8:10 here on this Monday evening. William Cole here live in the Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV Forecast Center. And we are tracking some heavy thunderstorms now across parts of really southwestern Oklahoma. No severe weather in Oklahoma right now, but again, some heavy thunderstorms down across that part of the state. As we take a look at the live watch and warning map here, again, nothing showing up right now. Again, no severe weather, no watches, nothing like that happening. But as we take a look across parts of southwestern Oklahoma, you can see we do definitely have an intensifying line of heavier thunderstorms down across that part of the state. And again, we're really talking about from I-40 to the south, but locations like Kiowa County back through Tillman, Jackson County. Again, some fairly heavy thunderstorms, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, very heavy rainfall associated with these storms as well. But again, right now they are just below severe limits, but some very small shot-size hail could be possible in some of those stronger cells. And then also, folks, we're also tracking this one lone discrete cell right here. Really, that's in a far southern Caddo County there. Really moved up through the Lawton area here over about the last 15 minutes or so. We have our eyes on that one right there just because it's a little more discreet, but right now it's not really showing any signs of rotation or anything like that. Keep in mind today the tornado risk is fairly low, but again, we are just keeping our eyes out there. Now our team of trackers is out there. Lead storm tracker Phillip Mcgee, Mark Rodriguez, and then also Jesse and Mike are out this evening as well. So we're going to be checking in with them. First of all, let's go ahead and zoom the radar in here just a little bit tighter before we get to lead storm tracker Phillip Mcgee. Again, you can see his live GPS location down there in parts of southwestern Oklahoma. He's basically right there in far southern Kiowa County, right around Snyder. And as we take a closer look at this action here, again, you can see, obviously we're seeing the dark red, some of the purple showing up. That's where the stronger cells are going to be. That's also where we're going to have an opportunity for some of that smaller hail. We're talking about some shot size type hail. But again, this is forming into a line. And again, this will be moving through really the Frederick area, right up through the Snyder area. Again, that's where Phillip Mcgee is right now. And then also up through the Roosevelt area. And Hobart, you folks up there, you're actually seeing a little bit of action right now. And again, all those little white marks you're seeing there, those are all cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. So again, this activity is very electrically active down there across that part of the state. And then, of course, we're also watching this cell really just on the western sides of Chickasha. That's Caddo County right there. It's rapidly moving northeast up towards the Oklahoma City metro. All the storms tonight are going to be fast movers. We're talking about 45, 50, 55 mile per hour moving storms. So again, we're tracking that very carefully. But even up here in Caddo County from Binger back down through Carnegie, again, heavy thunderstorms there as well. And now even to the north of New Cordell, right there along I-40. That's where Jesse is. We'll be checking in with our tracker Jesse coming up here. Mike and Jesse coming up here in just a few minutes as well. But right now, let's get to Phillip Mcgee. Again, you can see this line of storms basically running right up on his location right there. And again, he's reporting a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning this evening. Phillip, you're on the live line with us now. Go ahead and tell us what you're seeing, where you are, and go and bring us up to date. I've got your live stream pulled up there as well.
Okay, William. We are on Highway 62, just south of Snyder, looking back to the west. And the main part of the storm hasn't actually made it here, but as you can tell in the stream, you can definitely see that there's just an extremely large amount of cloud-to-ground lightning. We can look at some of the cloud structures. We are seeing some lowered areas back on the back side of this storm. And so that's why we're here. We're going to kind of keep an eye on this thing. And, nothing severe right now. We do have some indications, that there might be some bigger embedded cells in here. So that's why we want to be out here taking a look at this. Back to you.
All right, Phillip, really appreciate that. Again, Phillip Mcgee there in the Oklahoma Customs official Oklahoma Weather Tracker chase truck there. And again, also using that night scope technology. Again, you can see the resolution there, even though it's all dark where he is. But again, you can see that higher resolution view there with night scope. And again, so obviously raining where you are right now. Phillip, we're going to check radar again here in a second. But have you seen any hail so far as like any, again, heavier type activity? Again, as you've been down there now this evening, as these storms have really rapidly developed over the last 45 minutes, have you encountered any hail? What about any kind of winds down in your area right now?
Yeah, we have, as we were making our track down here to intercept the storm, we did not encounter any hail at the moment. That being said, we're driving through some pretty serious winds. I would say probably anywhere between 35 to 40 miles an hour coming across the highway, and then heavy driving rains associated with these. So folks need to take their cautions whenever they're driving, especially on the visibility part. So we had to run our wipers on high for quite some time, and it made visibility on the road really hard to see. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's just Phillip Mcgee's live GPS location. So again, with live radar here, again, you can see really the heaviest activity of the evening. Again, with all that dark red, that purple. Again, that's going to be overrunning Phillip here, really in about the next 10 minutes. So I mean, Phillip, you're really our eyes on the ground there. So again, as those storms come up, the Weather Service doesn't have any warnings on these at all. They have some heavy T-storm advisories out for these. But again, as these storms really move up through your location, it's going to be important just to see, how high the winds are. Are we getting those near 60-mile-per-hour winds, which could make those storms severe? And also, what about the hail size with those as well? As again, they're basically going to come right up over Phillip Mcgee's location. He's in perfect position. And then we're going to be checking in with Mark Rodriguez here in about 15 minutes or so. He's intercepting this storm, again, right there on the, really on the western sides of Chickasha. So for our friends up there, we do have our eyes on this as well, as it does continue to track slowly, or not slowly actually, but rather fast actually, up towards the Oklahoma City metro at nearly 50 miles per hour. But again, you can also see these heavier thunderstorms from Hinton back through Binger, Carnegie, again back over through Hobart, Roosevelt, and all the way down now the eastern sides of Altus, also back down through Frederick as well. Phillip, we're going to switch back over to your live stream here real quick. And again, like I mentioned, you're just kind of our eyes on the ground there as those storms are getting a little bit closer to you. Go and tell us again what you're seeing now. I mean, is the lightning starting to increase? Again, are you starting to get any winds on the frontal edge of those storms as they're getting closer to your location?
Lightning is definitely starting to increase, William. I mean, the storm is still just a little ways from our location, so we're going to sit tight here for a little bit longer. But the winds have picked up. They're out of the south and the southeast still, so there's plenty of moisture being fed into these also, and that's why that they're intensifying like they are. And so, but I would say right now the winds are probably 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the southeast. With gusts maybe up to the 30 range. As we're sitting here and we're talking right now, the winds are starting to pick up, and so precipitation is starting to pick up a little bit more too as we're here. But haven't seen anything, any type of lowering or anything like that we can make out as of yet. But we are, like you said, the eyes on the ground, and we're going to be watching this storm very, very close as it moves in toward the Snyder, the Hedrick area. Tipton is going to be right in the gun right now. So.
Absolutely. Lead storm tracker Phillip Mcgee down there, right around the Snyder area. Again, you can see that green dot right there that says Phillip. That's his live GPS location. And so we've got a lock on him there. And like I said, really over about the next 10 minutes, that line of dark red and purple you're seeing there on Mesoscan radar, again, that's going to basically move right over Phillip's location. So again, we'll be able to see in real time exactly what those storms are packing as far as a punch goes. Again, we're talking about wind and hail being the primary threats and exactly what they're going to have in them, as again, they are, again, basically going to track right over his location. Again, we're going to be checking in with Mark Rodriguez again here coming up in just a second. Again, he's intercepting that storm there in Grady County that, again, is now starting to come on into really getting fairly close there to the southwestern sides of the metro. It's kind of cycled up and down a little bit. It's had a bit of a heavy core to it at times, we'll put it that way. But again, right now it's basically coming into the Minco area here over about the next 10 minutes or so. But that is going to track into parts of southern Canadian County, then also potentially into really the southwestern sides of the Oklahoma City metro as well here over about the next 30 minutes or so. Keep in mind, all this activity we're tracking this evening so far is non-severe. We haven't had one severe thunderstorm warning issued yet, no watches, but again, just some heavier thunderstorms that again we are tracking primarily right now in parts of southwestern Oklahoma. So Phillip, I just switched back over to your live stream. Again, those storms are getting closer to you. Is the cloud of ground lightning starting to pick up from your location? It looks like those storms are fairly electrically active.
Yeah, these storms are very electrically active, and you're right, the storm is getting a lot closer to us. We're not seeing the actual bolts hitting the ground because there's a lot of rain, I believe, that's out in front of these, and it's kind of prohibiting, visually anything. But we're starting to see kind of a clearing back to the west-southwest and kind of see some of the storm structures. Now, there we first seen our first cloud-to-ground strike. It was probably a half a mile from us. But, yeah, these storms they're serious. They're not severe, but they definitely mean business as they're going to be passing over these areas here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, and you're absolutely in the perfect location there, Phillip. Your positioning there is absolutely perfect to see those storms, again, basically come right over your area here. Again, like you mentioned here, over about the next 15 minutes or so, maybe less. Maybe we're talking more about the 10-minute time frame. like I mentioned there as well. So we switch back over to live radar here real quick. Phillip, we kept your live stream up there in the corner, so we're going to be monitoring that, and we're seeing definitely some cloud to ground lightning strikes there in your live stream. I just saw a couple there. And again, as we're taking a look at live radar here, again, folks, just on the southwestern sides of the Oklahoma City metro, again, just north of the Chickasha area, we're still watching that cell right there. Of course, all this activity tracking fairly quickly to the northeast at 40 to 50, potentially 55 miles per hour. So again, for the Oklahoma City metro here over about the next 20 minutes, it is going to get wet, and again, we are going to have some cloud to ground lightning, some thunder associated with the activity as well. But again, like I mentioned, keep in mind right now, none of this activity is severe. So, of course, that's the good news right there. But again, here's Phillip Mcgee's live GPS location. So he's still down there in southwestern Oklahoma. Heavy line of storms right there from Hobart, Roosevelt, all the way down now on the western sides of Frederick. It'll be tracking right through Phillip Mcgee's live stream. Again, we'll be watching that. And then Mark Rodriguez, again, he's intercepting this storm. We'll be talking with him coming up here in about 10 minutes as well. Again, this is still a fairly heavy storm as well. And again, like I mentioned, also tracking northeast up through the Yukon area, up through the Canadian County area, and right up into the southwestern sides of the metro. But again, for the Oklahoma City metro here over about the next 20 to 30 minutes, again, it is going to be starting to get wet, and again, it is going to be at least a noisy evening, late evening. Again, we are talking about the opportunity for thunder to be moving right through the Oklahoma City metro, and again, some heavy rain, and the opportunity for some fairly small hail, the way it looks as well, maybe some shot-sized hail possible, again, out of some of the stronger storms as well. So, Phillip, we're back on your live stream there. Again, you're down there in southwestern Oklahoma. Again, we see the cloud to ground lightning there in your shot. Go ahead and bring us up to date as those storms are getting closer to you. Tell us about the winds, and again, how heavy is the rain now as they're approaching now from your west?
Rain is moderate right now. It's not real heavy. The storm is still back to the southwest, but the cloud to ground lightning has picked up. I mean, just crazy. And now that the longer that we've sat here, we're actually able to see the underneath side of the clouds and the base of this storm that's coming across. So you guys will be able to see that here in the stream in just a few minutes as it streams live back to you. Wow, there was a serious cloud to ground lightning strike right in front of us, probably 100 yards.
Yeah, we just saw that.
And so these things are ramping up. They're serious business. Again, they're not severe, and we've not encountered any hail at the moment. That doesn't mean that once the main part of the storm gets a little bit closer to us, that we don't get into some. And I think we're just a matter of just a couple of minutes having that right up on top of us right now. But the rain has actually stopped. The wind is out of the south-southeast still. I would say probably 20 miles an hour, maybe a little bit less than that, with gusts maybe to 25. And so we're going to go ahead and turn it back to you for right now. This is Phillip Mcgee reporting live from the Weather Tracker 1 Oklahoma Customs Chase Vehicle.
All right, Phillip, I really appreciate that. So we're going back to a live radar. Phillip, I'm going to keep your live stream up there. We'll be checking back again with you coming up here in just a minute. But again, the bottom line right now is no severe weather anywhere in Oklahoma. Again, just heavy thunderstorms. So what that means are thunderstorms below severe limits. That means we're not really dealing with hail. If we do have any hail out there, it's going to be very small hail. And again, we're talking about winds primarily, like Phillip Mcgee was estimating, 35 to potentially 45 miles per hour with the stronger storms. So these are still thunderstorms. Lightning right now is going to be the greatest risk with these storms. And again, some fairly heavy rain we're seeing out there as well, but keep in mind these storms are fairly quick movers, so they're going to move over your location, dump some heavy rain, but move fairly quickly as well. So the risk of localized flooding is fairly low with these, fortunately. Again, we're still tracking the storm right here in northern Grady County. We're going to be checking in with Mark Rodriguez here in a second on this storm, and then also on the western sides of Canadian County, increasing rain now, potentially even some heavy rain there right along I-40, then from Hinton, Binger, back over through Carnegie, back over through Hobart, Roosevelt, again right there where Phillip Mcgee is, right there around the Snyder area, all the way back through Frederick. Again, those are the heavier storms in the state this evening. And again, we're seeing that dark red going to purple. Again, that's going to be some extremely heavy rain, and again, the potential for at least maybe a little bit of shot-size hail to be mixing in with some of that. But again, the biggest risk with these storms, at least right now, it really is the cloud to ground lightning. And again, all those little white marks you're seeing here, all those little check marks, those little bolts, those are all cloud to ground lightning strikes over about a 2-minute period. So again, you can see these storms are very electrically active. And again, with Phillip Mcgee's live stream, again, all those bright flashes you're seeing with his night scope technology there, again, those are cloud to ground lightning strikes. There was another one just there as well. So again, Phillip, you're still there. Those storms are basically right on top of you now. They're just a couple miles still to your west. What are you seeing right now?
Okay, William. Yeah, the main part of the storm, I think, is just pretty much right on top of us. Noticing that the rain is starting to pick up in intensity now. It's bigger drops, heavier rain. Wind is still pretty much the same. But again, we're starting to see basically, I mean, the cloud structure now. The rain was inhibiting us that was on the front part of the storm. Now we can kind of see the underneath side of it. And we're not seeing anything that looks real ominous or anything like that right at the moment. But we're going to keep you guys up to date on this storm for sure as it moves through the Snyder area, Hedrick, Tipton, and those areas.
Okay, so we've just got brand new severe thunderstorm warnings issued for those storms down there. Let's go and roll through those real quick. Brand new severe thunderstorm warnings. This is going to be until 9 o'clock. This is going to be for Kiowa County, Washita, Jackson, and also Tillman County and western Comanche County as well. Again, that's going to be until 9 o'clock this evening. And the Weather Service is going to warn on those for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail associated with those storms. Let me go and pull up the live watch and warning map here, and we'll go and take a look, and I'll show you guys graphically exactly what it is that we're talking about here. But again, brand new severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are going to be in effect here for just about 30 minutes. And as we go and get the live watch and warning map pulled up here, again, we'll take a look at our new warnings there. And again, that's going to be in southeastern Oklahoma, or southwestern Oklahoma rather. And again, that is going to be severe thunderstorm warnings until 9 o'clock for Kiowa, Washita, Jackson, and Tillman counties. Again, there in southwestern Oklahoma, and also, let's see, also Comanche County there as well, again, until 9 o'clock. And again, that's going to be for an opportunity for quarter-size hail and wind 60 miles per hour. Plus, Phillip, again, where you are right there live, as we go back to your live stream, again, as those storms are coming up, the Weather Service is saying now maybe 60-mile-per-hour winds. What are you seeing as they're almost right on top of you right now live? All right, we'll check back in with Phillip Mcgee. We may have just lost him there off the live line, but again, we'll be checking back in with Phillip Mcgee. All right, Phillip, it looks like you're still on the live line with us. Are you still there?
Yeah, William, I'm here. I was checking out some data and stuff on the radar, but as we're sitting here, the rain's picked up, the wind has picked up now out of the southwest, and as we were looking onto the road here, we've noticed that a couple of hailstones have hit the road. Now, we're not seeing the quarter size that the National Weather Service is reporting right now. That doesn't mean that it's not a bit further to the west. The main part of the storm is still just a little bit further to the west than us right now. Winds are definitely picking up, though, right now. I would say 55 miles an hour, maybe even 60 miles per hour right now as we're sitting here. You can see it in our stream. You can see the driving rains happening right now, William. And you're also talking about, I would say, probably pea-sized hail coming down right now.
I hate to interrupt you. Are your lights on? I don't know if you can turn your lights on, but right now with your night scope technology, we can't really see much. It's fairly dark, so I don't know if your lights are on. So we can definitely see the rain.
Let's see what that does. I just turned my lights out.
Okay, there we go. So we're able to see it. So we can definitely see the driving rain you're talking about. And right now, Phillip, you said the winds are coming up right around 60 miles per hour. That's what the Weather Service was reporting. That's what they are estimating as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The truck is shaking back and forth, and I would say that they're between 55 and 60 miles an hour.
And what size hail would you say is falling there? You said it's not quite quarter size hail. What would you estimate it at?
No, I would say, well, the ones that we've seen just a second ago were shot size. But again, the main part of the storm is still just a little bit to our west, so we haven't actually got into that main part of that hail core yet. So, but yeah, the winds are still kicking pretty good. I would say 55 miles an hour at least, shaking the truck around real bad.
Absolutely, and there's a live radar there as well, folks. So we're going to break from Phillip Mcgee's live stream for just 1 second. He's still on the live line with us, but again, that's our new severe thunderstorm warning we just took a look at. That's again in effect until 9 p.m. this evening. Phillip Mcgee again, really the strongest or the heavier storms of the evening. Again, basically moving right over his location. Phillip Mcgee is saying he would estimate winds 55, 60 miles per hour. His truck's rocking back and forth a little bit with some of the heavier gusts. Again, as they move through, really right over him. He's right there in the Snyder area. That's far southern Caddo County County right there, or Kiowa County rather. And then as we take a look at this storm up here across parts of, well, we'll just say northern Grady County, moving into parts of Canadian County, it's starting to weaken a little bit. There's still some heavy rain possible with that as it does move up through the Mustang, Yukon area, potentially up into parts of southwestern Oklahoma City, and then also from Okarche, Hinton, Binger, again, some fairly heavy storms there as well. Those storms there are just heavy, not severe there, but again, you can still see all those little white marks there. That is all very frequent cloud to ground lightning. Really, with all this activity, the biggest risk this evening right now appears to be the very frequent cloud to ground lightning. And Phillip Mcgee, he can also agree with that as well. Again, he's seen multiple cloud to ground hits. Again, we've seen it live in his stream. And Phillip, as that storm basically is moving right on top of you right now, it's basically centered right over Phillip Mcgee and his live GPS location. Again, what are the winds doing now? Again, you just had them at 55 to potentially 60. Where are the winds at now as we take your live stream back full?
I would say 60 mile per hour plus, 60 mile per hour plus. And we're sitting here, we're facing Highway 62, it's a 4-lane highway, and there was trash and debris blowing airborne, not on the ground, but airborne across the road. And so, it looked like cups and stuff like that, but there's definitely enough wind that's picking that and elevating it up from the ground surface and carrying it along. So I would say 65 mile per hour wind for sure. Heavy driving rains right now. I'm sure that you can see that in our stream. Everything else is pretty much black right now. There's no light anywhere that we can see. And like you said, that main part of the storm is directly over the top of us.
All right, Phillip Mcgee down there in southwestern Oklahoma. Great job there. Again, we're continuing to track this severe weather down across parts of southwestern Oklahoma with Phillip Mcgee. I want to break away from Phillip for just 1 second. I want to go and bring Mark Rodriguez in on the line with us. And Mark, you're on this storm, and we're still checking on your live stream if you can. I don't know if you're streaming on your end, but we'll get it. If you can, just go ahead and make sure you're streaming, and we'll take your live stream. But I want to go and take a look at this storm and talk to Mark about this storm that is now just on the southwestern sides of the Oklahoma City metro. Again, Mark has basically intercepted this storm. Phillip, we've still got your live stream there in the corner, so again, if anything goes on, just let us know. We'll come right back to you. But Mark, are you on the live line here with us now?
Yes, sir. I am. I believe my live stream says it's streaming on my side. I may have to try to restart that here in a minute. This cell so far up here coming into Union City in the Minco area. Right now, I do get some lightning off of it, and I am in some little light rainfall. But as of right now, nothing major in this area. I'm located on 152 right now, just to the east of Highway 81.
Mark, go and give me your location again one more time. I missed it. Where'd you say you were exactly?
I'm heading westbound on 152 right now, just eastbound of Highway 81 at this time.
Okay, so this storm, it's kind of lost a little bit of intensity. This storm is it started down by the Lawton area, it kind of flared up a little bit, actually a couple times as it very quickly moved to the northeast. So it's really just on the southern sides now of Union City, Minco. Again, you can see there's still a little core there, potentially some heavy rain, really not much in the way of hail. But again, this is one we've been watching just because it was kind of isolated by itself. For our friends that live here in Oklahoma, anytime you have a line of storms, but then you get one kind of in front of it, you always want to pay extra special attention to that storm. And that's exactly what we've done with this one here, but again, it's not severe. This is just really an area of potentially heavy rain there on the southwestern sides of Union City. Again, that's going to continue tracking into Canadian County, Yukon, Mustang, even potentially over there near the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro. And so go ahead and tell us again, Mark, what you're seeing with that storm. It doesn't really look like now there's even much in the way of cloud to ground lightning with, again, as you've kind of watched it here over the last few minutes, are you seeing any lightning associated with that storm? Or tell us exactly what you're seeing with that storm.
Yeah,
and also, again, if you could check your
I'm seeing a little bit of lightning on it. I'm not quite seeing any cloud to ground from here. I do see, I believe the lightning I'm mainly seeing is from that cell that Phillip's on down there in all what's in western Oklahoma. From the cell I'm on right now, I'm getting just some moderate rainfall right now, nothing too heavy as of yet. I'm probably about 5 miles just to the east of Union City.
Okay, Mark Rodriguez, we're going to check back in with you coming up here in just a second. I want to dip back down to our severe storms with Phillip Mcgee, again, down across parts of southwestern Oklahoma. Phillip Mcgee's on these storms here. We do continue with severe thunderstorm warnings in effect until 9 p.m. this evening, and this is going to be for Ouachita, Kiowa, Jackson, Tillman, and also Comanche County down in parts of southwestern Oklahoma. Again, that's in effect until 9 p.m. this evening. That's going to be for winds up to 60 miles per hour and the potential at least for some quarter-size hail. Phillip Mcgee, you can see his live GPS location, the green dot that says Phillip. That's where he is there live right there in the Snyder area. As I take his stream back full here, Phillip, it looks like you're driving. And again, over the last 10 minutes, again, you said you did have some wind gusts potentially near 60 miles per hour. And again, at one point in time, your truck was even rocking back and forth, maybe just a little bit. You had a little bit of debris in the air. You said you saw some small hail, but it was smaller than quarter, but you said maybe around the size of shot-size hail, maybe some pea-size hail. What are you seeing right now over the last 5 minutes?
Okay, we're headed eastbound on Highway 62, back towards, let me get my direction straight here. Indiahoma. And we're driving on Highway 62. The winds have changed directions. They're hard out of the north right now, William. And I would say probably 65 miles per hour plus, fighting to keep the vehicle on the road, along with heavy driving rains. We've not seen any hail whatsoever, but the wind is extremely rough as we're driving eastbound on Highway 62.
Yeah, you're basically right in the core of it. I mean, Phillip is right in the core. We're going to take the radar full again here, and again, you can see his live GPS location. So again, really the heaviest activity is basically moving right where Phillip Mcgee is, and again, you can see that's him right there. Again, you can see really almost the sideways blowing rain now there in his live shot. But again, really what Phillip Mcgee, again, what he's reported now, at least over the last 20 minutes or so, is at least some winds near 60 miles per hour. And again, that's what the Weather Service issued this severe thunderstorm warning for, was winds near 60 miles per hour and at least the potential for some quarter-size hail. Again, Phillip's estimating the hail size is a little bit smaller than quarter size, but again, we have a little pocket there of hot pink just on the southern sides of Snyder. This is really just north of the Frederick area there. That's in Tillman County. And again, we may have a little bit in the way of some larger hail right there where you're seeing that hot pink. But again, we're tracking that right there very carefully. Again, all this activity quickly moving off to the northeast. These storms are moving this evening anywhere from 40 to potentially 50 miles per hour. As we take a look back up here across parts of central Oklahoma, Phillip, we're going to get right back to you down there here in just a second. But I want to take a look at the storm that, again, Mark Rodriguez is on. And again, it's coming in right now basically to really the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro, up around the Union City area. And again, Mark Rodriguez, you're still on the live line with us. I know you're on that storm. I think you were on 81 there near the Union City area. Again, the intensities with this storm, it definitely has come down. It's still a quasi-heavy thunderstorm, meaning we could still see some fairly heavy rain on it. Basically, it's going to cross right over I-40 near the El Reno area there. But Mark, tell us again where you are right now exactly and kind of what you've seen here over the last 5 minutes since the last time we talked.
Yes, I'm just now about ready to come into the Union City area off of 152. I'm approaching it right now. Rain has picked up just a little bit, so is the lightning. Still so far no cloudy ground up in this area, just some pretty decent heavy rainfall and a lot of cloudy clouds.
Okay, and that's probably about it with that storm for right now, at least. Again, it's kind of pulsed up and down a little bit, but we have definitely had our eyes on that one. So we're going to check back in with Mark here in just a second. And also, Mark, if you can check your stream. We're still not getting it here, but we'll get your stream back going here in just a second. Let's go and widen the view out here. Let's go and widen the radar view out here just a little bit, give everyone an overview. We're going to get right back down there to Phillip Mcgee, lead storm tracker Phillip Mcgee, and the Oklahoma Customs official Oklahoma Weather Tracker Storm Chaser truck. That's almost a mouthful to say right there, but he's down there right in the middle of it, so we're going to check with him here in a second. But so for the Oklahoma City metro, first of all, again, you can see some scattered rain, some moderate rain now on really the western sides of the Moore-Norman area. So we do have some light precipitation now moving into Oklahoma City proper. This really not that big of a deal. But the main activity is really from, let's just say, Kingfisher County, down through Canadian County, back through Caddo County, and then we pick up on the severe weather. Again, that's exactly where Phillip Mcgee is, back through Kiowa County, also back down through Tillman County here as well, and that's where a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, at least until 9 p.m. this evening. Again, these storms right through here are just heavy, but the one thing to point out, and this is really the biggest deal tonight so far, is see all those little white bolts or all those little white check marks? That's all cloud ground lightning over a 2-minute period. So again, these storms are very electrically active from Kingfisher County all the way down into parts of southwestern Oklahoma. So Phillip, you're still on the live line with us. We've still got your live stream there. Go and bring us back up to date with what you're seeing down there right now.
Yeah, we're back out a little bit in front of this storm, and we're going to try to get down there to that area that you were talking about down by Frederick. From what we're seeing on velocities and stuff like that, like you said, it's kind of picked up in intensity, one of the stronger cells, and that's potentially where that larger hail is at. So we're going to drop down to the south there a little bit. We're not too far out of that area as it stands. We got just a couple of miles before we can drop down south and go to Frederick, and we're going to shoot back to the south at that time, and hopefully give you a good shot with this night vision camera of what we're going to be looking at on that cell that's coming through there.
All right, Phillip Mcgee, really appreciate that right there. And where would you estimate, and we just have an alarm going off here in the forecast center, that's just an update there from the Weather Service, but where would you estimate the winds at right now? Again, earlier you were saying the winds were maybe up to 60 miles per hour as it basically crossed right over your location where you were. Your truck was kind of rocking around a little bit. Where you are now, again, where would you estimate the winds, or how high would you estimate the winds, again, where you are right now?
Okay, the winds are back out of the southeast now, William, and they've dropped back down to probably 15 to 20 miles per hour. But the main part of that storm, the wind switched out of the north, and I'm telling you, they were probably pushing 65 miles an hour. I mean, it was extremely difficult to keep the vehicle on the road as we were driving. And so, this is the east-west road that we're traveling on, Highway 62. We've been down this before as far as high-profile vehicles. And it's not going to take much with that amount of wind to take and blow you off the road. One of the things that I also said earlier was there was a cup that was elevated flying across in front of us. It wasn't on the ground rolling around. It was blowing through the air. So, there's enough wind and turbulence there to create problems as you're driving east and west on this highway. So.
Okay, Phillip Mcgee, really appreciate that down there in southwestern Oklahoma. I want to do this real quick, folks. I want to jump back up here to the Oklahoma City Metro real quick as well. We're going to check in with Mark Rodriguez again, just looking at some of the new radar data up here. And again, the only severe thunderstorm warnings continue down there in southwestern Oklahoma. Again, that's exactly where Phillip Mcgee is. We'll take another look at that coming up here in just a second. But I do want to touch base up here in central Oklahoma as we go and switch back over to a live mesoscan radar here. And Mark Rodriguez, we're going to be talking to you here in just a second. But specifically, I want to talk over here in the Canadian County and northern Caddo County area, because again, those storms, they're starting to intensify a little bit more. And I tell you what, folks, I wouldn't be surprised if we wouldn't at least have an opportunity now, maybe on the far western sides of Canadian County, also right down through the Hinton area, where you're starting to see some of that dark red showing up, maybe some small developing hail cores. So again, we're watching that right there very carefully. Mark Rodriguez, he's still watching this core right here. Again, this is more of an area of just heavy rain. We've been watching that cell really since it moved up from the Lawton area. But again, Mark, let's go and pull up your live stream, and you're still on the live line with us. We finally got your stream up here, and go ahead and tell us where you are again and what you're seeing there in Canadian County.
Yeah, William, we are now on Highway 81, and we're actually in between Minco and Union City, and it looks like this one's not as strong as it was earlier. It is producing a little bit of lightning toward the top, or toward the north end of it, but it's still no CGs on this one yet. The rainfall's pretty decent. It's still heavy rainfall. There's a little blinding there for a few minutes, but I kind of came out to the south end of it just now. I'm really liking this what's off to our west here, and I may try to reposition and get some of that that's about to come into the western parts.
Mark, I tell you what, that activity that I was just showing that's approaching from your west, moving there into parts of western Canadian County, if I was you, I would kind of hang out in that area and just kind of let that action there kind of come towards you. And again, I just switched from your stream, and again, really what I'm talking about, so here's Mark. So this is 81. So Mark's going to be right back over in here, okay? So right there near the El Reno area, Canadian County, Oklahoma City Metro, right back over in here. Again, this line of storms, it is kind of moving to the east and also to the northeast. It has a little bit of a easterly and northeasterly component to it. But in Mark's location, this activity is basically going to get very close to where he is, and also that opportunity for some of that severe weather to also move up through his location as well. So Mark is in a good spot right there. Again, if he wants to kind of hang out there in Canadian County, he could go a little further west if he wants to as well. But again, we're going to let that activity come to him. And again, like I said, this right here is still not severe. So from Dover, Kingfisher, Okarche, all the way back down through Hinton, Eakly, this isn't severe, but this is very heavy. And again, where you're seeing that dark red, the opportunity for some fairly heavy rain, maybe some small shot-size hail. And again, the bigger risk is all this cloud-to-ground lightning you're seeing right there. As we take the radar a little bit further to the south, down where Phillip Mcgee is, that's where we pick up on the severe weather. And again, you can see severe thunderstorm warning. That orange polygon or that orange box you're seeing there, that is a severe thunderstorm warning that does continue until 9 p.m. this evening. It's for Kiowa County, Washita County, Jackson, Tillman, and also Comanche County there as well. Again, that's until 9 p.m. this evening. You can see Phillip Mcgee getting just kind of out in front of those storms just a little bit. There's Phillip Mcgee right there now, just on the western sides of Cache. He was in the Snyder area when those storms basically moved right over him. Now, the one thing to point out here, there's a little bit of a bow now developing, and that could be an area of some higher wind gusts, maybe 65, maybe 70 mile per hour winds now with this little bow segment there. And Phillip, that bow segment is just to your west. It's going to move right on into your location there. Are you still on the live line with us?
Yeah, I'm here, William. That's exactly what we're looking at on our radar also. And we're trying to get in position to shoot back to the west here in just a few minutes. We're out in front of that storm now, and so we definitely want to be able to bring that to the folks here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, you're basically in perfect position. Again, that bow segment is basically coming right on into a Phillip's location there. And whenever we say bow segment, folks, basically that means just an area of rain that's basically being driven or blown out in front of a thunderstorm because of the potential for some straight line winds. So we're not saying 80, 90 mile per hour winds. I don't think that's possible, at least with this, what we're seeing right here. But at least the opportunity for some 60, 65, maybe even 70 mile per hour winds, again, could be possible with that little bow right there. And again, that's where Phillip Mcgee is right there live. And again, we'll be watching for that to come into his location. So, Phillip, as you were kind of driving away from those storms, have you seen anything else in the way of hail at all? I know you said you had just some very small hail earlier. Have you seen any more hail? And also, what about the winds where you are right now? Earlier, you were at least estimating some winds up near 60 miles per hour. It was kind of rocking your truck back and forth just a little bit.
No, actually, we are out of the winds right now. I mean, they're probably 25 to 30 miles an hour out of the south and east, but nothing too ferocious right now. But there's we're going to look back to that area that you were talking about here in just a second once we can get a clear spot to shoot back to the south and to the west, and that bow area that you're talking about.
Okay, Phillip Mcgee, and we're going to get your stream pulled back up here as well. So we're going to switch back over to Phillip Mcgee's live stream here, and again, so we can see, essentially exactly what he's talking about. So as we switch back over to Phillip Mcgee's live stream, again, he's got night scope technology going, so it gives you a higher resolution view at night. You can obviously see that right there, and also, of course, he's in the Oklahoma Customs official Oklahoma Weather Tracker chase truck there. But again, Phillip Mcgee doing a great job down there in southwestern Oklahoma. Again, so far, again, he's seen some 60 mile per hour wind gusts, some at least shot size hail, again, as those storms basically moved right over the Snyder area exactly where he was. So we're going to let Phillip reposition down there for just a second. Again, that's the only severe weather in the state is down there where he's located. I'm going to pull the radar back to the north here real quick. And as we do that, I want to take a look at the activity that's getting at least closer here to the Oklahoma City Metro. And Mark Rodriguez, are you still on the live line here with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go and bring us up to date. Tell us where you are right now. Again, I know earlier you said you were right there along Highway 81, right there in Canadian County. But tell us where you are now and kind of tell us what you're seeing. Again, these storms up here, they're not severe, but they are still fairly heavy, very frequent cloud ground lightning and some fairly heavy rain with that activity right there as well. But tell us again where you are and kind of tell us what you've seen here over the last 5 minutes.
William, we are still on Highway 81, just around Union City area at the Love's gas station. Pardon the live feed. We're having a few technical difficulties with that, but we'll try to get that up soon. Right now, the rainfall is pretty much tempered off, and so as of right now, we just see some lightning in the distance coming from the storms out to our west.
All right, Mark, and then also if you can check your stream one more time as well. I think we're just having a little bit of trouble there with Mark's stream. I know we had it a few minutes ago. I think we just lost it. But again, if you can check that, and then we're going to get right back with you. And again, so we're watching parts of really the western sides of the Oklahoma City Metro, again, around the Canadian County area, out there through Caddo County. And again, we're seeing some of that red going to dark red. That's at least an opportunity for some fairly heavy rain. Maybe, again, some very small shot-size hail could be possible. But again, this activity here, this is not severe. But again, this is still just quite heavy. The overall overall trend is all this activity is moving to the northeast fairly quickly this evening. Really, all these storms are moving anywhere from 40 to, at times, 50 miles per hour. Let me go and zoom the radar out completely. Phillip McGee, we're going to get back to you here in just a second. But let me zoom the radar out, and we'll put this in movie mode and just give everyone kind of a broad view of really what we're talking about here. And again, you can see really the only activity we're tracking right now is, again, it's across parts of southwestern, west central Oklahoma. Lone severe thunderstorm warning here. Again, that's for Kiowa all the way down through parts of Tillman County. And again, that's until 9 p.m. this evening. But again, even outside of that severe weather, again, we still have some fairly heavy thunderstorms that do extend from Caddo up through Canadian, and especially now up into parts of Kingfisher County. And then this one lone heavy storm that we've really tracked, this one all the way from Lawton all the way to the north, that's hanging out there across parts of Canadian County, near the Union City area, also near the Mustang area, potentially moving up through Yukon and even into the southwestern sides of the Oklahoma City metro. But again, all this activity moving quickly off to the east and to the northeast, that again anywhere from 40 to potentially 50 miles per hour. So Phillip McGee, again, he's still down there in southwestern Oklahoma. Again, you can see his live GPS location right there. And again, the one thing we're watching down there is that little bow segment, this little bow echo that's starting to show up with potentially some winds near 65 miles per hour. And Phillip, you're just on the eastern sides of that line. As we go ahead and zoom the radar back in, go ahead and give us an update from your location down there, and also tell us what you're seeing as I go ahead and switch back over to your live stream. Phillip McGee, are you still on the live line with us?
Yeah, I'm here, William. I'm sorry, I had my phone on mute. I was trying to reposition and look at some more radar data real fast. But yeah, we are on the hold on one second. What is the name of this street or this road?
Indiahoma Road.
Indiahoma Road, headed southbound. Now we are out in front of it, but we're definitely moving towards that higher area of wind velocities there that we're talking about here on the radar. So I'm going to hand it back to you right now. The road conditions over here are kind of bad. It's not an improved road at all. So I'm going to give it back to you until we can get into a better position.
Yeah, absolutely, Phillip. I mean, you're literally right there in the thick of it. I mean, is there a lot of ponding on the road? Can you just kind of, I know there's some fairly heavy rain falling. The storms are moving fairly quickly, and a lot of times that'll help to alleviate any of the flooding concerns or the localized flooding concerns. I mean, is there ponding on the roads? What are you seeing in your location right now? Just real quick, I know you're trying to drive there as well, but if you can, just kind of let us know, again, what you're seeing as far as the actual road conditions go. Are you seeing any localized flooding?
Not at the moment, we're not. When we were on Highway 62 with those driving rains, the main thing is just the visibility. But I believe that these storms are just moving by so fast that it's not giving us any time to pond on the roads at all. So it is putting down a lot of rain, that's for sure. And so folks still need to use their driving cautions whenever they're out. But the main concern is this cloud to ground lightning for sure, and then the fact that those northerly winds that were coming across from those the main cells of those storms were probably close to 60 to 65 miles per hour.
Absolutely, Phillip. And the way it looks right now, again, that small bow line, that at least we have the potential for some 60 to maybe 65 mile per hour winds. Again, it's basically going to be moving right through your area here, again, over about the next 5 to 10 minutes. So we're going to be waiting for that right there for sure. Beyond that, we're going to go back up to the Oklahoma City metro here as well, because I tell you, right over downtown Oklahoma City, we have an intensifying storm right now. It's not severe, but again, there's some fairly heavy rain falling with that right now. And we're also going to be checking back in with Mark Rodriguez coming up here in just a second as well. So let's go and switch things around here real quick. And again, we're going to get back with Mark Rodriguez here momentarily, and also Phillip McGee down there in southwestern Oklahoma momentarily as well. But I tell you what, let's go and take a look at this storm here real quick, just coming in now on really right downtown Oklahoma City here. So as we take a look at live mesoscan radar, again, for our friends over here, really on the western sides of Moore, here over about the last 10 to 15 minutes, again, we have this pocket of some fairly heavy rain, a little bit of lightning associated with that as well. Downtown Oklahoma City, literally right here. So again, this is lifting right over downtown Oklahoma City. Also out here in Canadian County where Mark Rodriguez is, again, you can see some fairly heavy activity activity now lifting basically right over Northwest Highway right there. There's Piedmont. So again, some fairly heavy rain going on there, a little bit of cloud to ground lightning associated with that as well. And then also that activity out there near the Geary and Hinton area. Again, that's still quite strong there as well. Again, that's not severe. We only have the lone severe thunderstorm warnings down in southwestern Oklahoma. Again, we'll take another look at coming up here in just a second. But again, even this activity near the Hinton and Geary area and back up even through the Kingfisher area, again, you folks can see that's still some fairly heavy rain falling right there, again, with some cloud to ground lightning. The biggest risk with any of the activity so far that we've seen tonight is going to be the cloud to ground lightning. Again, so keep in mind, again, the only severe weather we currently have in the state is down across parts of southwestern Oklahoma. The activity really that's moving through central Oklahoma right now. Again, this is just in the way of heavy activity, but again, from Cashin down through Piedmont, even this cell right now moving right over downtown Oklahoma City. This, again, is just all heavy activity there. Hey, Mark Rodriguez, are you still on the live line with us?
Yes, I am, William.
Hey, Mark, go ahead and bring us up to date. Tell us where you are. I know you were on 81 here earlier, and that cell kind of passed right over you, and I know you're about to get your stream back up. I heard that a second ago. But again, tell us where you are right now, because if you're still there on 81, again, this activity here is still off to your, really to your west and southwest. That's going to be lifting right up through your location. But tell us again where you are right now.
Yes, William, I'm still through Love Station here on 81 in Union City at the moment. Rain's pretty much tampered off to just sprinkles at this time in this area. The wind has picked up a little bit, so far we're still no threats to this area at this time.
Okay, so that activity is going to be approaching Mark now from the west here over the next few minutes. So I'm going to be so we'll be checking that here in just a second. I'm also getting information in here from Phillip Mcgee. I'm just looking over there very carefully. And also, we're going to be checking in with Jesse and Mike out in western Oklahoma as well. So I just got some info from them. We'll be checking in with their live stream coming up here momentarily. Let's get back to Phillip Mcgee. So we're going to leave the Oklahoma City Metro here again for a second. Some heavy thunderstorm action going on, non-severe here. Again, the biggest risk in central Oklahoma, it's going to be the cloud to ground lightning. Mark Rodriguez, we're going to check back in with him and his live stream coming up here in just a second. But I want to go back down to southwestern Oklahoma and Phillip Mcgee. And as we switch the radar around, again, this is still a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect down there, that area of orange. You see that polygon or that orange square, basically. Severe thunderstorm warning there until 9 p.m. this evening. And again, you can see Phillip Mcgee's live GPS location here in Comanche County. He's now just on the western sides of Lawton. But again, you can still see some fairly heavy rain falling there. Still severe. The opportunity for winds 60 miles per hour plus. And the Weather Service estimated quarter-size hail. So far, Phillip Mcgee said the hail's been on the small side, but at least anywhere in this warning, there is an opportunity for some hail up to potentially quarters. So Phillip Mcgee, you're still looking to the west at that activity. I know you said a few minutes ago the road conditions were pretty bad with some fairly heavy rain falling where you were. Let's go back to your live stream. Give us an update with what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, William, we pulled over. We are just shooting back to the southwest to kind of get an idea on this storm. Now, that bow area is still a little bit to our west. The main part of the storm hasn't made it to our location, but there's a couple of areas now, and it's kind of calmed down a little bit from where we when we last seen it, but maybe had a little bit more upward lift to it, potentially making larger hail or whatever. So we wanted to sit here for just a second. We're going to go ahead and progress south now on the road, but as far as conditions go, we're in a little bit heavier rain now, but no ponding on the roads or anything like that at the moment. But the winds, again, have started to pick up, a precursor to this, the main part of the storm moving through.
All right, Phillip, so the Weather Service, they're going to let that warning down there where you are, they're going to let that expire. So those are going to go from severe back down to heavy thunderstorms. So, I mean, that's good right there. And to be honest with you, that's really what we've seen. That's really what Phillip Mcgee's seen. I mean, he did estimate some winds near 60 miles per hour, which would be severe criteria. But overall, winds 45 to potentially 55 mile per hour wind gusts, again, is what Phillip Mcgee is reporting, and hail on the smaller side. But again, keep in mind, really, the biggest threat with any of this activity, whether it's severe or not severe across parts of the Oklahoma City Metro, that's not severe up there, it's going to be the lightning tonight. There's a lot of lightning with these storms, a lot of cloud to ground lightning, and again, keep in mind that lightning is absolutely dangerous, if not potentially deadly, folks. So we got to keep that in mind. And again, we've seen it over and over again on Phillip's live stream tonight. Again, those cloud to ground hits over and over here over about the last hour as he's been live. But again, all those little white marks you're seeing there, that's over a 2-minute period, cloud to ground, not cloud to cloud, but cloud to ground lightning strikes. And again, that's common from southwestern Oklahoma, even up into the Oklahoma City metro. So we're going to check back in with Phillip Mcgee down there live here in just a second. And right now, let's switch back up here to the Oklahoma City metro. Let's just go and switch the radar around here real quick. And as we do that, we're going to check back in with Mark Rodriguez. We've also got Jesse and Mike out there in western Oklahoma. We're going to hook in with them here in just a second as well. I'm getting some information from them. We'll be talking to them live coming up here momentarily. But again, for downtown Oklahoma City proper, we do have this cell that's moving through. Again, non-severe, but again, it is going to be a noisemaker, meaning you are going to hear some thunder. There is some lightning associated with it, and again, some fairly heavy rain. And again, it's basically tracking right up the I-35 corridor. Of course, there's where the I-44 splits off right there. So again, you can see it tracking up to the north, but basically right along I-35. And then also locations to the west there, out there in Canadian County from Piedmont, back over through the El Reno area, and then even back over through the Geary and Hinton area there, across parts of Caddo County there as well. Some fairly heavy thunderstorms showing up as well. So again, the good news is right now, at least, everything is non-severe. We're just dealing with a lot of heavy thunderstorms. Let's go and take an overview here again. Let me go and zoom everything out, and we're going to check back in with Phillip. We're going to get back with Mark here in just a second as well. And then we're also going to be checking in with Jesse and Mike out there in western Oklahoma momentarily here as well. I'm just looking over some new information there. So as we take a look at the overview again, you can see all non-severe heavy thunderstorms now basically stretching from Garfield County all the way down through really Tillman County there across parts of southwestern Oklahoma. All heavy thunderstorms there. Again, lifting to the northeast fairly quickly, 45, potentially 50 miles per hour. These will move right through the Oklahoma City metro really here over about the next hour ish. So again, we're talking about 45 minutes to an hour. They will be moving into the Oklahoma City metro. I know we do have a couple of those cells we just looked at right in Oklahoma County proper, but again, this whole line of, again, heavy rain and lightning will be moving through the entire Oklahoma City metro, again, here over about the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. So again, we're tracking that right there very carefully. Let's go back over. Let's switch back over to the Oklahoma City radar here real quick. And Mark, I know we're still waiting on your stream there. I know you're getting it back going, but are you still on the live line with us?
Yeah, I'm still here with you.
Okay, Mark, go ahead and give us an update. Tell us where you are. I know you're still there in Canadian County. Tell us again kind of what you're seeing. Those storms really have lifted now to your north, but you're really watching to the west for this next line to be moving in right in your location. So again, tell us what you're seeing now as you're looking to the west at that with those storms now approaching from the west there in Canadian County.
The storm to the west, I am starting to see a lot of lightning intensifying, even also to my north, like you were saying. I am back on Highway 81 now. I am heading northbound, actually, toward El Reno. I just seen a nice spot of ground off to my northwest from here. So it just ramp up a little bit for lightning-wise. Other than that, right here in my area, I'm not really getting much rain at the moment. I'm just to the south of in El Reno.
Okay, Mark Rodriguez, we're going to check back in with you coming up here in just a second. Let's go back down to the south and check in with Phillip Mcgee. Again, Phillip Mcgee's been on these severe storms. The severe thunderstorm warnings were just expired by the National Weather Service. They let them expire. So that is good news right there. We no longer have any severe weather in the state at all. But let's go and switch back. Again, these are the storms we're talking about there, first of all. And again, we're talking about basically from Caddo County, from the Binger area back all the way down through Carnegie there, rather, and then all the way back down to really parts of Tillman County. There's Phillip Mcgee's live GPS location. Again, he's just on the western sides of Lawton. And again, this is all some fairly heavy rain and, again, very frequent cloud ground lightning. You can see Phillip Mcgee basically right there in the mix, right where all that dark red is. Phillip Mcgee is right in the center of all that. So let's go back to his live stream. And Phillip, go ahead and tell us what you're seeing. You're right in the core of the storm. So again, basically whatever's going on as far as any kind of wind or hail, you're going to be able to tell us live.
Yeah, that's right, William. We haven't noticed any hail at the moment, but the winds, again, are just ferocious out of the north and west coming off of these storms. Now, I would probably say that there was gusts of 65 miles an hour again as we were setting. They're looking at that one section that I was talking about just a few minutes ago, and is rocking the truck back and forth again. But we're going to get back out in front of this storm. It looks like that it may have dropped down just a little bit as far as that bow and the wind intensities, but we're going to get back out in front of it and get on a better highway also, so that we can bring this back to the folks there live.
Absolutely. And Phillip, you would say you would estimate the winds again there, you were saying right around potentially 60 miles per hour. Is that what you were saying?
That is correct. Yeah, 60 miles per hour was probably gusts to 65.
Yeah, Phil, I mean, again, we're looking at your live GPS. I've just kind of zoomed in the radar. And again, really locations that we're talking about from Chattanooga. Let's just go and kind of take this really city by city now for our friends down here in southwestern Oklahoma. Again, the good news is no longer any severe thunderstorm warnings in effect anywhere in Oklahoma. So these are only heavy thunderstorms. But even with heavy thunderstorms, folks, especially when we're talking about a line of storms, you do have the opportunity for some wind gusts, you know, with these 50, like Phillip Mcgee saying, maybe even still 60 miles per hour. So again, we could still see that even though these aren't potential, or these aren't currently severe. We still have to take these seriously. And again, like I've said over and over, the cloud to ground lightning definitely the biggest risk with any of this activity. But as we kind of zoom in and take these kind of one by one here, you can see in Tillman County, now on the eastern sides of Hollister, up through Chattanooga, and then as you get near the Cache area there in Comanche County, just on the western sides of Lawton area, up through Mears, Medicine Park, and then as you continue north, up there into Caddo County, from really, let's just say the Carnegie area up through Alfalfa, up through Eakley, even Luqueba, hitting there in far northern Caddo County, and then even coming in there to the western sides of the metro there in Canadian County from Calumet, really all in locations south there, very close to the I-40 area. Of course, that's where Mark Rodriguez is. Let's go and switch the radar over to a different view here. And I know Mark's got his stream back up. He's there on the western sides of Canadian County, rather. And Mark, are you still on the live line with us?
Yes, I'm still here with him.
All right, go and tell us where you are right now. I'm going to take your live stream here as well. I know you got it back up, but go ahead and tell us again exactly where you are there in Canadian County.
I'm on Highway 81, right at the I-40 interchange right now, and as you can see through my live stream, I am going to be heading westbound just a little bit here, probably about over the Country Club here on I-40, and that might give you guys a little bit of a better view on the stream as well for what we're seeing off to our west. I haven't seen a lot of intensified lightning, not much CGs anymore besides those couple I seen earlier. I've just been seeing a lot of cloud to cloud lately. It does look like this storm should be pushing into my area probably within the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, those storms they're definitely approaching fairly quickly now from the west to your location. So again, they're basically going to be moving right into where you are. As we take a look at radar here again, and again, there's Canadian County specifically. That's where Mark Rodriguez is there. And again, we're almost seeing just a little bit of that bow effect here as well up across parts of Canadian County. And again, that's just going to be an opportunity for some higher wind gusts. With this activity here, 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts would definitely be possible there in western Canadian County. Again, as that line of storms continues to move and advance right towards the Oklahoma City metro. That other cell that we're tracking, it's basically moving right over 44 now. It's starting to approach really the Luther area, also Arcadia up through there as well. And in fact, it's starting to move basically right over Lake Arcadia right now. Again, this is a non-severe storm, but again, it is still fairly heavy. And again, like I mentioned, Arcadia, Luther, it's going to track right over those locations before it moves up here into parts of Logan County. But again, Northwest Highway clearing out now temporarily. Again, some of the heavier weather lifting north of the Piedmont area, but Cashin, back over through Okarche, some fairly heavy thunderstorms there. But again, here comes this next line for Canadian County. It's going to be moving into the El Reno area. Again, that's where Mark Rodriguez is. We have his live stream. Again, we'll be taking it live as soon as they get just a little bit closer to him. But again, an opportunity here with that little bow. Some 45 to 50 mile per hour winds could definitely be possible right there where my finger is. You see that little bow action there. And then as we go back down to parts of southwestern Oklahoma, that's where Phillip Mcgee is. And we're going to be checking in with him right now as well. Let's go and switch the radar back around here. And we're going to take a look at radar first, Phillip. Then we're going to get back to your live stream down there. And Phillip is down there in Comanche County, just to the west of Lawton, down there near the Cache area. You see the green dot, it says Phillip. Of course, that's his live GPS location there. And again, basically the heaviest part of the activity down there basically just passed right over him. So again, he was still estimating those winds potentially near 60 miles per hour just passed over him. So locations like Cache, all the way over through the Lawton area, heads up. We may see some winds still 50 to 60 miles per hour, even though the Weather Service has officially expired these warnings. the one thing we've seen tonight, or the one trend that Phillip Mcgee's really noticed, it's been the winds. The hail really hasn't been a big deal. We haven't seen much in the way of hail. The Weather Service was saying potentially quarter-size hail. We didn't see it. Phillip Mcgee didn't see it. But again, we have seen the winds 60-plus miles per hour there, especially on the western sides of Comanche County, then also back over through Kiowa County, over the near the Snyder area. That's where Phillip Mcgee was earlier. But again, this activity continues to generally trend towards the Lawton and Elgin area. So, 60-mile-per-hour winds could still be possible in those locations. Hey, Phillip, are you still on the live line with us?
I'm here, William. Yeah, I was listening to what you were saying, and that's absolutely correct. We intentionally put ourselves in the position that we did so that we could let that storm pass over the top of us and see if we could actually get into any hail or anything like that. And we didn't see any hail at any moment. And like you said, the main thing is the high winds and that cloud-to-ground lightning. We don't want to forget about that. And so, there was a couple of strokes of lightning that hit a couple of 100 yards from us. That it was I just took it up. That's how loud it was. And so, but other than that, we were coming through Indiahoma, and there was some ponding there, localized ponding of the roadways. We're driving on Highway 62 east again to get back out in front of this, and 62 has not created any problems as far as driving other than visibility.
Okay, Phillip Mcgee, really appreciate that right there. And would you agree, Phillip, with, and sorry, I'm just talking with another one of our storm trackers there, Jesse and Mike. We're going to be checking in with them. They're over there near that hydro storm, so we're going to be checking in with them coming up here in just a second. Or the Hinton storm is actually, I believe, the one they're on. So we're going to check in with them here in just a second. But Phillip, would you agree that, down there in southwestern Oklahoma, the general trend, it really hasn't been the hail tonight. We really haven't seen, even with the warnings earlier, we really didn't see anything in the way of quarter-size hail. It's been the winds. Even now, since the severe thunderstorm warnings have expired, you're still seeing at least potentially some winds near 60 miles per hour. That's been the general trend. And the other real key thing tonight, it's been all that cloud-to-ground lightning that we've been seeing. Very, very dangerous as well, really all across the state with any of these storms. You just saw it behind me. Would you agree that's the general trend with what you're seeing out there?
Yes, I would agree 100%, William. A high winds for sure. That serious cloud-to-ground lightning. As these storms are passing over, they're putting out a lot of lightning. The rain, it does create a problem once you're driving through the main core of the storm as far as visibility goes. But ponding on the roadways and stuff like that, I haven't really noticed a whole lot of issues with that. Now, localized in a smaller town, like I said, I just drove through Indiahoma, and locally there was some ponding on the middle of the road, but nothing that you create any really caution about.
Absolutely, Phillip. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it down there. Let's go back to radar here real quick. I just want to show Phillip Mcgee again where he is there in Comanche County. Again, right very close to the cache area. Again, as this activity is approaching the Lawton area again, winds 50 to potentially 60 miles per hour are going to be possible from Lawton all the way up through Elgin. Officially, no severe thunderstorm warning from the Weather Service. They did let that expire. But again, Phillip Mcgee, eyes on the ground there. Again, he's been on this storm all evening, really since it started right at the Red River. Again, he is still seeing some winds at times near 60 miles per hour, and really all the storms we're seeing tonight, winds near 50 plus are definitely going to be possible. Even the storms coming in now on the western sides of the metro. Let's switch back over to a different radar. We're going to check in with Mark. We've also got to get to Mike and Jesse out there in western Oklahoma. I keep saying that. We're going to get to them coming up here in just a second. They're standing by. They're waiting there with the live stream and some live information. So we're going to get to them coming up next. But let's get up here to the northern sides of the metro here, the Oklahoma City metro real quick. And as we go ahead and get that pulled up, we'll go ahead and take a look at this here. First of all, and again, for the Oklahoma City metro, again, you can see basically for Oklahoma County, we have this one cell, and it is starting to get fairly heavy there over near the Luther area, now north of the Arcadia area. It's going to be pushing up into parts of Logan County here fairly quickly. But again, you're seeing all that dark red there. Again, that cloud-to-ground lightning associated with it. So some fairly heavy rain there, lots of cloud-to-ground lightning. Maybe a little bit of shot-size hail could be possible with that there. And then also as we're looking to the west out there across parts of really western Canadian County, again, we are starting to see this little bow line redevelop. And hey, Mark Rodriguez, are you still on the live line with us?
Yeah, I'm still here, William.
Because I tell you what, this deal right here, and even though we're getting a little low level lock, we're not talking about a tornado with this at all. But what it is, we're starting to get some straight line winds with this, and a lot of times on the leading edge of some straight line winds, the radar can see little spin ups. Again, we're not talking about tornadoes. There's no tornado risk with this right here. But again, this is turning into a bow segment from Okarche down to El Reno. Just for the fact we got that marker from NextRad, there's no doubt about it. We're going to have some straight line winds with this right here, 50, 55. I would say almost maybe even 60 miles per hour. Mark Rodriguez, I know you were there on 81. Are you still on the southern sides of El Reno, or are you north of El Reno?
Actually, I am actually in El Reno at this time. I'm sitting in the Walmart parking lot here off I-40 and Country Club, and I'm looking off to my west right now, as you can see in live stream, and we're just right on the eastern parts of that bow echo you're talking about there. And the lightning is thickening up a little bit. It's still way off in the distance from the view of the camera, but it is picking up a lot more than it was just a little while ago.
Is there any way you can get just a little bit further north? Because I tell you what, right here, this is a for sure bow echo, and I'm telling you what, 50, 55, maybe 60 mile per hour winds plus are going to be possible right there from Okarche all the way down to El Reno. So heads up, no severe thunderstorm warning from the Weather Service, but again, I can tell you bottom line for sure, 50, 55, 60 mile per hour winds possible right there. There's no doubt about that at all. And again, so that's going to be there in northern Canadian County. So again, heads up, from Okarche down through El Reno. Again, a mini bow line segment moving through there. Again, just with some straight line winds associated with that. Are you able to get just a little bit further from where you are right now, Mark? Let's go back to your stream. And I see you're kind of starting to pull out there. So let's go and switch over to your live stream here. And again, so are you able to get a little bit further to the north from your location? A little bit, like I said, a little bit deeper into where that activity is there?
Yeah, I'll be able to do that, William. I'm going to jet back over to Highway 81 real quick and go ahead and head back north on 81 and get you guys a better view of this storm.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to check back with Mark here in just a second. As soon as you get a little bit closer, Mark, just let me know. We're going to come right back to you. But again, so we're watching that right there in Canadian County. Again, winds 50, 55, potentially 60 miles per hour from El Reno up to Okarche are going to be possible here within about the next 15 minutes. So heads up. And of course, that's Highway 81 right there. And of course, that's where it hooks in with Northwest Expressway right up in there. So again, that's actually far western Piedmont. Piedmont extends all the way up and through there. So just keep that in mind. Also Okarche as well. And then for our friends down in southern Oklahoma, let's go ahead and go back down there because we've also got this other line that Phillip Mcgee is on. And so let's go back down to the south. We're going to check back in with Mark Rodriguez here momentarily as he's tracking that activity there in Canadian County. He's getting just a little bit further to the north. And this is the activity that Phillip Mcgee is on here. So let's go and zoom out the radar just a little bit. And Phillip, again, we see your live GPS location there. And again, you're still down there in Comanche County, the western sides of Lawton. But again, folks, you can see there's that bow line right there. So that's what Mark is about to look at. He's going to get us some live pictures of that. But there's that bow line. Again, I still think winds 50, 55, 60 miles per hour there in northern Canadian County. But all this activity is shifting up to the northeast. So for right here in the Oklahoma City Metro, Chickasha, all of Canadian County, again, all this activity will be moving through the metro here over the next several hours. But again, from Binger all the way down through, we'll just call it all the way down through northern Comanche County there. And then we see where Phillip Mcgee is there on the northern sides of Lawton. Go ahead and, are you still on the live line with us, Phillip?
Yeah, William, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead and tell us what you're seeing there. I know it's been a few minutes since we've checked in with you. Let's go and get your live stream back up there and go and tell us what you're seeing there on the western sides of Lawton now.
Yeah, we're coming in the western sides of Lawton right now. We're just a few miles from the actual city, and we've driven through several heavy rain bands. Looks like things have started maybe to intensify once more just to the west, like you were just talking about. And I think we're actually probably in that right now as we're driving, like I said, just to the west of Lawton. And so we're trying to get out on the front of this. It looks like that bow segment is starting to kind of, again, pick itself up also from where our location is. So we want to get out in front of this thing and bring it back to the folks there in the city as it tracks its way northeastward, like you were just saying. Back to you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Phillip. Hey, tell us again, bring us up to date. I know earlier you've had some wind gusts, 60 miles per hour in that range, a little bit of some small hail, probably shot-sized hail earlier. Give us an update on what you've seen really here over about the last 10 minutes as far as any kind of winds go. I mean, really the center of those storms are moving right over your location. So give us an update as into regards as to what you're seeing as far as hail and as far as winds go down in your location.
Okay, you broke up a little bit there, William, but I think that you were saying something about the winds. And right now, as we're entering Lawton proper, the winds have kind of died down a little bit. As we were traveling through those heavier bands, I would say anywhere between 45 to 65 miles per hour on the average. And that was earlier what the National Weather Service, like you said, had warned on. Was the winds and the potential for that quarter-size hail. We haven't been in any hail whatsoever. We intentionally put ourselves in a position a while ago to see, if we could get into anything like that, and we didn't see anything. And so main concerns right now is that cloud-to-ground lightning and these high winds. And visibility is poor whenever these cells are actually passing over some of these major thoroughfares out here. Highway 62 is the one that we're on right now. We're headed east into Lawton right now. So back to you, William.
Okay, Phillip Mcgee, really appreciate that live update there from southwestern Oklahoma. Of course, we're seeing your live stream, and we'll take a look at live radar there again as well. And again, you can see the overall trend, really a large area, fairly heavy thunderstorms that again continues to kind of expand and move off to the northeast as this big area of low pressure is basically going to be tracking right across Oklahoma as we start to head into the overnight period. Currently, no severe weather, only heavy thunderstorms out there. Some of the heavier ones right down there where Phillip Mcgee is. Again, you see that green dot, that's his live GPS location. You're seeing the purple all around him. Phillip Mcgee, he's right in the middle of all that purple, so he's right in the middle of the heaviest activity as far as precipitation goes right now. And then we're also watching parts of northern Canadian County up there as well. We're getting a little bit of what we call a bow echo, or in other words, there's an opportunity for at least some straight line winds up there, 50, 55, maybe even 60 miles per hour, and that's going to be between El Reno up through the far western sides of Piedmont, right there at basically Highway 4 and Northwest Expressway, that junction right there, and then all the way up near the Okarche area. And that's where Mark Rodriguez is, and he's dipping up just a little bit further to the north. And Mark, go ahead and bring us up to date real quick. I know you're up there basically on that activity. Go ahead and tell us where you are now in Canadian County, if you've gotten any further north, and kind of what you're seeing as far as winds go up there.
Yeah, William, I am now around Elm and Highway 81 at this time, heading northbound. I am seeing a little bit more lightning up towards this area. The rainfall has picked up a little bit. It's still not quite heavy yet, but it is pretty moderate to light at this time. I'm hoping to get up north here pretty quickly and get you guys a better view of this storm.
Okay, Mark, we really appreciate that from you. We're going to be checking back in with you coming up here in just a second. We're also about to check in with Mike and Jesse. We're just getting them on the live line here. They're out in western Oklahoma. We keep saying we're going to check in with them, then we don't. So we're going to get them on the live line for a report coming up here in just a second as well. So bear with us again while we get them on the line here. And again, the one piece of good news right now is, at least overall across the state, is we don't have any current severe thunderstorm warnings. We did have one kind of large warning. It included about 5 counties. Again, that was earlier this evening, but again, that has since expired. The Weather Service had issued that for some 60-mile-per-hour winds and also some hail, potentially near the size of quarters. Phillip Mcgee, who was down there on those storms and still is, again, he did at least confirm we did have some wind gusts over 60 miles per hour, but again, overall, the hail threat has been fairly low with this activity, and again, that's basically what he's been reporting from down there. The other thing that we're really watching, and really probably the biggest threat, to be really honest with everybody this evening, it's really the cloud-to-ground lightning. And again, that's something we're watching very carefully. Again, really all across the state, any of these storms that you come into contact with tonight, the risk of cloud-to-ground lightning is going to be there. These storms very electrically active, and again, that's really the main threat. Again, that we're dealing with now late this evening, as again this activity is starting to get closer to the Oklahoma City metro. I want to bring Phillip Mcgee back on the live line. Again, he's still down there in parts of southwestern Oklahoma, down near the Cache area in Comanche County. You're very close to Lawton, Phillip, right now. Is that correct?
We're actually in Lawton proper right now, William. The GPS hasn't updated. But that heavier band has actually started to move its way in to the western sides of Lawton right now. And from the looks of things that I just got on my latest radar update, it looks like that they might have, like again I said, picked up in intensity. And so we're going to hang out here for just a second and see. But like I said, it looks like that Bow Echo is trying to reform there, just to the west of Lawton.
Okay, so we're definitely keeping an eye on that. And again, that's kind of been the trend this evening, is that we have opportunities where we could have some, again, we're saying straight line winds, but we're saying that, again, we're talking about winds 50, 55, 60 miles per hour, nothing too extreme. But keep in mind, 50, 55, 60 mile per hour winds, it can do some minor damage. So again, we are tracking that very carefully. And again, that's what Phillip Mcgee is keeping his eye on down there, again, with those storms down there in parts of southwestern Oklahoma. So again, we're going to be checking back in with Phillip Mcgee. And we've still got your live stream up right there, Phillip. Again, that storm is basically kind of moving right over on, right on top of you right now is what I'm trying to say. Go ahead and kind of give us a play-by-play and kind of a narrative of what you're seeing as you're driving through Lawton right now. And again, that fairly strong storm, again, is right on top of you right now.
Right, William. Noticing that the rain has started to pick up. We haven't hit the heavy winds yet that we drove through on Highway 62 just west of town. But like I'd said before, we were probably hitting winds that were 60 to 65 miles per hour for sure, traveling down that Highway 62. Heavy rains, extremely ferocious cloud-to-ground lightning, for sure, associated with these storms. And so, that's kind of been, like you said, the trend for this afternoon and this evening is the cloud-to-ground lightning and the high winds. We have not seen any hail so far, which that's a good thing. But we have been in those high winds for sure as we made our trek back to the east, and now we're basically in Lawton proper. We're going to hang out here for just a little bit and let the storm kind of get back on top of us again, and just hang with this thing as it moves kind of east and northeast up towards the Oklahoma City area.
Hey, Phillip Mcgee, let me interrupt you for 1 second. I've got Mike and Jesse on the live line here with us, and we've been waiting to talk to them. I keep saying that, and this is our first chance to really get them on the line. We've got their stream here as well, but their stream is fairly dark. But welcome to coverage here, guys. Mike and Jesse out there in western Oklahoma. Go ahead and tell us exactly where you are right now. I think, did you say you were maybe potentially approaching some of these storms around the Hinton area? You guys are on the live line with us. Well, we may be checking back in with Mike and Jesse. I think we finally got them on the line, and now maybe they're not there. So, Mike and Jesse, are you guys there? Okay, so we're going to check back in with them. That was a long time coming to get them there. Now all of a sudden they're not there, but that's okay. So we're going to check back in with them. They're out here in western Oklahoma. We're going to get a live report from them. We're also going to be checking their stream here momentarily as well. But Phillip Mcgee, I know you're still down there in southwestern Oklahoma. Go ahead and, again, I'm sorry, I hated to interrupt you there. But again, we're going to switch back over to your stream. Phillip Mcgee's in Lawton. We're going to get back up to Mark Rodriguez. He's on the western sides of the Oklahoma City Metro. We're going to check in with him in Canadian County here in 1 second. But right now, Phillip Mcgee's still down in the Lawton area. Again, still looks like some fairly heavy rain falling there with your night scope technology as you're driving through Lawton proper, Phillip.
Yeah, the rain has actually picked up a little bit. As we were driving through, probably a half a mile back, it was actually pretty heavy rain. That's probably what you were seeing. It takes a little bit for the stream to catch up. But we're going to make our way up to the Elgin area, up around Mears and Medicine Park, Richard Spur, and take a look at that storm. It has definitely picked up from what we can tell, and we're going to make our way up there and follow this thing in as it makes its track towards the Oklahoma City area.
Okay, Phillip, really appreciate that right there. Again, Phillip Mcgee right there in Lawton proper. So we're going to check back in with him coming up here in just a second. I think we have Mike and Jesse back on the live line here with us. And again, they're in western Oklahoma. Guys, are you on the line with us? Okay, so we're going to check back in with Mike and Jesse, I guess, coming up here in just a second. We've got their stream. They're in western Oklahoma. Again, more to come from them here momentarily. Let's get back up to the Oklahoma City Metro here. And let's see, and we're going to be checking in with Mark Rodriguez here in the Oklahoma City Metro. Let's switch back over. Let's switch radars here real quick back to Oklahoma City proper here. And 1 second here. And Phillip, we're going to check back in with you coming up here momentarily as well. But at least for Oklahoma County specifically, again, really not much going on. We had one heavy thunderstorm up near the Arcadia-Luther area. Again, that's now lifting out of Oklahoma County. We're still watching that activity there in parts of really western now into parts of central Canadian County, basically moving right on in really right on into the El Reno area there. And that's basically exactly where that's where our Mark Rodriguez is. So we're going to be checking in with him coming up basically right now. We're just getting him back on the live line here with us. And again, we'll talk to him. I've got his stream up here as well. We're going to take his live stream as well. And again, he's there in Western Canadian County. And hey, Mark, you're back on the live line here with us. Go ahead and tell us where you are now there in Canadian County.
Yes, William, we are out here by the Lucky Star Casino now. I'm just passing it going to the north on 81. Rainfall has picked up, so it's lightning, and it's coming out pretty good. It is a little bit hard to see while you're driving. I would advise people if they are in this area, if you're driving in this, I would take it just a little bit slow. There could be some localized spawning in this area, so I would just really watch out for our hazards out there.
Okay, absolutely, Mark. And also, I don't know if you can check your stream again. It looks like your stream might be down right now. So if you can just check your stream, and we'll get your stream back up. That way we can get some video from you coming in as well. But let's go and switch to the overview here again real quick. And we're going to get back to Mark Rodriguez. We're going to get back to Phillip. And then apparently we've got Jesse and Mike again back out there in western Oklahoma. So we're going to be checking back in with them here in a second. Here's the overview, okay? So across Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma right now, all quiet. Nothing going on there. Again, we have this line of really broken thunderstorms from really parts of southwestern Oklahoma up into parts of west central, and now even across parts of north central Oklahoma up here as well. The good news is no severe weather in Oklahoma at all. Okay, we're only talking about heavy thunderstorms, heavy rain. The biggest threat this evening, folks, it's going to be the cloud of ground lightning. These storms are very electrically active, a lot of cloud of ground lightning, and that is really the biggest threat that we're seeing with any of this activity here. So let's go and work the radar. We're going to start up there across parts of north central Oklahoma. We're going to work our way down. We're going to check back in with Mark Rodriguez. We're going to check in with Phillip Mcgee. We're also going to be checking in with Mike and Jesse again coming up here in just a second as well. But first of all, let's go and start up here across parts of north central Oklahoma. Let me go and actually, I'm going to switch the radar around here just real quick. Bear with me 1 second while I do that. And as we switch the radar around, we're going to go up to north central Oklahoma because for our friends up there, specifically near the Enid area and also locations to the south like Guthrie, even down through Mulhall, Marshall, again, we are tracking an opportunity for at least some heavier thunderstorms to be moving in your direction here. Again, at least over about the next 30 minutes or so. Let me go and refresh this radar here, and then let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. And as we switch radar sources here, again, you can see basically, let me go and zoom this right here on out real quick. And as we do that, again, you can see basically from the western sides of the Oklahoma City Metro, again, we have that line of storms. Again, that's where Mark Rodriguez is. And again, that's who we're going to be checking back in with coming up here in just a second. And let me actually go and switch this radar back around here. We're going to take this other radar source there. And again, so across parts of north central Oklahoma, again, you can see from the Enid area back over even through Perry, there's the I-35 corridor there. So again, all heavy thunderstorms. Kingfisher County back over through Logan County. And again, that does include Guthrie there. Again, some heavier thunderstorms, frequent lightning, and again, some fairly heavy rain ongoing there. And then again, as you get back into parts of the west central sides of the Oklahoma City Metro, and then all the way down into southwestern Oklahoma, again, that was our lone severe thunderstorm warning earlier, but again, that's long since expired. So let's go down to southwestern Oklahoma. That's where Phillip Mcgee is right now. And let's go ahead and take his stream down there. And he's basically right in the Lawton area right now, Phillip. And are you still on the live line with us?
I'm here, William. Yeah, we're on I-44.
Phillip, are you still on the live line with us?
Towards Medicine Park and the Mears exit up to where that heavier band of storm is moving through right now. I will say this, that I-44 down by Fort Sill, there are some ponding areas on the roads causing some hydroplaning issues. I just drove through one pretty large area that had a lot of water across the roads. And so folks definitely want to use their driving precautions whenever they're out, and take their time, slow down a little bit. Last thing we'll do is have a big accident here on I-44, that's for sure. Back to you.
Okay, Phillip Mcgee, really appreciate that. Again, he's down there across parts of southwestern Oklahoma. Let's go and take that radar down there as well. So we'll go ahead and give you a radar presentation from down there. And as we go ahead and pull that up, and again, you can also see exactly where Phillip Mcgee is. Again, there's his live GPS location. He's basically sitting right in the town of Lawton, right there on 44. And again, so there he is right there. Again, there's that line of, again, fairly heavy, we'll just call them strong storms. Again, no severe storms in the state. These are heavy to strong storms. And again, the opportunity for some fairly frequent cloud ground lightning is going to be possible with these storms, as again, they do continue tracking off to the east. And then also up here across parts of the Oklahoma City metro as well. And again, let's go and switch radars, and we'll go back up there again real quick here. And let's go and switch that around. And again, you can see really now on the far western sides of the metro up there around the Canadian County area, really from Okarche all the way back down through El Reno. Again, there's still this little bow line segment right here. And again, that's going to be an opportunity for at least some straight line winds, basically right there on the Canadian Kingfisher County line. You're seeing that little bow right there. Winds 45, 50, 55 miles per hour would definitely be possible with that right there. And then out I-40 there into far western Canadian County. Again, some fairly heavy thunderstorms. Some scattered showers right over Oklahoma County proper. But again, all this activity is going to be tracking on in. And also there on the western sides of really Caddo County, really from, let's just say, Hinton back down through Binger, Anadarko. Again, all heavy thunderstorms there as well. Frequent lightning. Again, those are the main concerns right now. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to take a quick break. We've been on here for about an hour and a half. We're just going to reconfigure some of our stuff over here. And again, we're going to have another live update coming up here in just about 15 minutes. Otherwise, keep it here with Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. We'll keep you up to date with the latest live weather information for Oklahoma.